What's up, my fellow comic book readers? Guys, I read 16 indie comic books that have come out in the last 3 weeks today. I fell behind over the last 3 weeks, just been busy. In the last week, since Wednesday, so last week, I've read about 50 comics. And this morning I read 16 of them. So I put them in order of least favorite to favorite. We're gonna review them in reverse order. Some of the ones that I didn't like have been highly praised by everybody, so if you're offended, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. But let's get into it. Last on my list, News from the Fallout. I gave it 3 issues. I followed my rule. I can't take any more of it, man. It's just, I feel like I could write this or better. Personal opinion, I really like this writer. I've never had a problem with anything else this writer has done, so it's not that he is a bad writer, so please don't take this the wrong way. I am just not a fan of this. Now, I will say that I'm one of 100, right? The other 99 people that are going to read this are loving it right now, and a lot of people are really talking highly about this, and some people I've seen even put it as the read of the week. So, don't hate me. It just wasn't for me. Next on the list, This Ends Tonight. I will say that this got a little bit better. The first issue, I was lost as hell. I don't even know if the first issue, what happened throughout the issue, really happened. But this one was a little bit better. It turned into more of like, they're like a gang. She is trying to get married. She's the sister of one of the gang members. I'm guessing the girl attached to her. Not guessing. She's the sister of the girl attached to her. And there's just so much going on in this that doesn't really explain to me. I didn't pick up on it. Like what this book is actually supposed to be about, other than like maybe they're like bank robbers or something and they're trying to save her. But I don't know. I will be closing my subscription on this, and I will be closing my subscription on this. They're just not working for me. Next up, we got Red Vector. I watch PCP with Rock and Rob, and he talked really highly about this. But it just kind of seemed like a generic Star Wars / Star Trek / every other sci-fi space where like they land on a planet. The planet happens to be Earth, so this might evolve into something better. But the first issue didn't grab me. I will probably get an issue 2 because I like to at least give it 2 shots because I've been wrong before on the first issue, you know what I mean? But this just didn't impress me with the first issue. Next up, we got VR Troopers near the bottom. The first issue of this was really good, but I think it's really turning into like a Power Rangers thing. And I know there's a lot of people, especially like in my friend group, there's a lot of people that are huge Star Wars, there's a lot of Power Rangers fans, but this is just not grabbing my attention. I think if I would have grabbed this, if I would have waited for a trade to come out and then I picked up and read it all at one time, because I'm not really big into the Power Rangers and the morphing scenario, right? Like, it's not grabbing my attention one issue at a time. I'm sure if I were to pick this up and trade, it might do a little bit better for me. I am going to get number 3. It didn't, like, completely, put a bad taste in my mouth. So I am going to get number 3 and see if his dad is the bad guy, or maybe it's a brother that he doesn't know about, or maybe it's a clone of him. Or if you read this, you kind of know what I'm talking about. But that's my review on that. Next up, this is where it starts getting good, okay? So I read 16, so it was hard. These were definitely my bottom 4, okay? These two are getting taken off of my pull list. These 2 are going to get one more shot issues. The rest of these I'm enjoying. The rest of these I'm going to continue subbing to and continue reading them. Some of them are one shot, so, obviously I won't be continuing reading them, but we're taking everyone down with us. This is continued as part of the Rook series. Oh, I pointed to the wrong corner. Where Rook is like a UK spy guy, and he's trying to take down a crime family. The crime family, they already killed the husband. Now the husband has brought the daughter back to her mom, which the husband and wife were estranged from each other because the husband ran away and kidnapped the daughter, apparently. but when the dad died, he transferred his conscience over to a robot, and the robot took the girl over to the mom, and then the robot died, and then the girl is trying to get revenge for the dad, and then the mom is like, fuck her, she made her choice, she can go do whatever she wants to do. Her butler, or like assistant, whatever you want to call him, he's trying to go save her, and she's like, nah, fuck that, she made her choice, she can live with him. So I'm really enjoying this. If you're into like spy, espionage, like stuff like that, high-tech combat, I would definitely recommend this. This is issue number 5, I think. Yeah, issue number 5. Next up, we got Blood Honey. This was one of the one-shots I was talking about. This is about, they're high schoolers. I know the art kind of makes them look older, but it's kind of like they're the top two, like the top dude and the top chick in their high school, and they've been in a relationship for like 3 years. Everyone knows them. They're like prom king, prom queen every year, and he's the team captain for the fencing, and she's the cheerleading team captain, and everybody loves them. And they love each other. They're very in love with each other, but they also have grown to not like each other anymore, and they can't deal with loving each other and not liking each other, and they both know each other's secrets, so they come up with a scheme to where they're going to kill each other. And then, I don't want to ruin it for you, I definitely recommend reading this, but at the end, things don't go as planned, and I thought this was a great little one-shot. Next up, we got Star Trek Red Shirts. This has been really great. Again, I'm not a huge Star Trek fan. I do want to start watching Star Trek. I watched like all the modern movies, like, well, I say all, like 2 or 3 modern movies, and I really like those. I have my Uncle Righi. He's huge into Star Trek when he was, younger. I don't know if he still is, but I heard a lot about Star Trek growing up, and I know that the red shirts always die. So when I saw Star Trek Red Shirts, I think Micah was the one that recommended this to me. I'm really liking this series. They kind of play on the whole, like, we know red shirts die thing, but at the same time, it's a team of red shirts, and they're on a planet trying to stop the bad guys from stealing information from the Enterprise. And, obviously they're dying because that's what red shirts do. But I will say I was a little surprised at this one because the guy that I thought was going to be the main guy, they killed him in issue 2. And I was like, you know what I mean? So I'm really enjoying this. It makes me want to go get more Star Trek comics because IDW is killing it with the Ninja Turtles. They're killing it with Star Wars. I got an IDW Star Wars in here. They're killing it with Star Trek. IDW really knows how to get like the pop culture comics right. And I really appreciate that about IDW. If you haven't tried IDW comics yet, think of your favorite childhood cartoon or TV show or movie. Like they're about to release, I saw advertisements for Supernatural. If you're big into Dean and the Winchester brothers, I haven't watched this. I know it's like 16 seasons long. I watched them. I'm going to get that. But they do pop culture right, man. IDW really gets pop culture right. And Star Trek is no exception. Next up, we got The War. You might notice this is far from the bottom. Well, I would probably say somewhere in between, right? Somewhere in the middle. The first issue, I was like, I'm going to drop this. This is what I was talking about. This is why I go to issue number 2. The first issue, I wanted to drop it. It was Republicans this, Democrats this, blah, 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 blah. The shit that I avoid. The reason I read comic books, to get away from the politics, right? To escape that shit. Issue 1 was all about it, and I was like, I'm going to give it a second chance. I'm going to pick up issue 2, and I'm glad I did. This was freaking fantastic. This is what happened after the bombs got dropped, right? And there's a page or 2 in here, like 3 pages, 4 pages maybe, where a lover has to do something that is just like so hard to think about. He doesn't have to do it. He decides to do it. And it's not like he's not having a monologue about it. He's just like, he says, how do I do this? And then he does it. And I'm just like, oh shit. And then it doesn't go how I think he saw it going. And then he actually hurts the person he loves. And then he has to make another crazy decision. And I'm just like, oh my God. Like, I think I stopped reading and put the book down. I was just like, oh my God. So if you are into realistic war, like current realistic war, and gory scenes and like ideas that like if you were in love with somebody, I couldn't imagine doing what this guy did, and he did it out of love. Oh my God. I probably could have, all of these probably could be ranked higher, but we got Biker Mice from Mars. This is from Nacelle Verse EC Comics. Biker Mice from Mars is one of my favorite cartoons from childhood, and I'll be honest, I remembered that I really liked it, that I used to watch every issue, but I didn't remember a whole lot was going on, so I can't tell you if this is a story that had already happened, but I will say that the main trio, they're going around trying to stop the bad guys from erupting the volcanoes and killing all the Martian mice. They're fish people, they're their arch nemesis, and I really like the direction that this is going. It kind of leaves you on a little bit of a cliffhanger, like what are the Biker Mice going to do next to try to stop the fish people? The fish people are like really cheesy bad guys, which I thought was pretty funny. Like they refer to their boss as like master of evilness, my evil connoisseur, they have like these crazy cliche 90s nicknames for an evil guy that they worship, you know what I mean? And that's kind of funny to me. Not just that, but just like the Martian mice, however you want to word it, are like, you know, they're a roughneck team of people that really care about people, and they're trying to save innocent people from the bad guys, or innocent Martian mice from bad people. But I thought this was really good, and I'm really enjoying this so far. Next up, we got The Voices Said Kill. I am really liking this. It's only a 4-issue run. This is issue number 2. This is about a cop that's pregnant. She's in the bayou, and she has to, the first issue is all about her relationship with like the crime family that runs the area, and she has to do something in the first issue that she's like, well, this is me signing my life away, boom, and then my unborn child, boom, you know what I mean? And she's like going through a really rough time, and then she has to off somebody, and then in this issue, that person that she offed in the previous issue is being framed for something, but only she knows that she offed that guy, right? Because she disposed of the body, and no one's found the body. So when they're like, oh, this guy came in here today and did this, she's like, I think they're lying. And everybody's like, how do you know they're lying? And she's like, I know. You know what I mean? So it's like a weird scenario. And then she goes back to investigate what those people were actually doing, and then she gets taken hostage, and just a lot of stuff going on in here. Pregnant woman going through a really rough time. She is a badass, I'll say that. I couldn't imagine being 9 months pregnant tracking through the bayou, but she's doing it and making it look easy. So I definitely recommend this if you're into like bayou and Cajun slang and stuff like that, and then like also crime family level stuff. Fantastic read so far. Next up, we got Be Not Afraid. Issue 1 was about how evil the son was. Issue 2 was about how the mom's relationship with the church really like ruined her life because she fell in love with an angel and then pretty much gave birth to the Antichrist, right? This one, you finally see the mom's face, because if you are reading this, the grandma got resurrected. The grandma was killed and then brought back from the dead after she was killed by the same person. And the kid is just evil. He's like literally sitting in the field, killing, like snapping his finger and watching the cows disintegrate from within. And the mom's like, why do you do that? And he's like, what, you eat them? And she's like, it's not the same. And he's like, the cows don't know the difference. You know what I mean? Essentially like, I'm killing them, you're killing them. There's no difference in the cow's mind. But you really start to see how evil the kid is. And the mom is really trying to like shut him down and stop him before he like ends the world type level of darkness. So I'm interested to see where this is going to continue going. I'm really enjoying this series so far. If you haven't picked it up and you're into like dark stuff, like dark religion, this has been fantastic so far, and I would definitely recommend it. Next up, we have Captain Planet and the Planeteers, issue number 4. This continues to be a solid run. Wheeler, the fire guy, he has split from the team and joined the bad guys, but not because he's a bad guy, but because he's kind of like scared of his own powers, and he's trying to save the world in his own way, but he doesn't really know what he's doing because he's like this. He comes across as an uneducated like thug, pretty much, right? and he's trying to be a good guy, but he's just going about it in the wrong way. And the other 4 Planeteers are like working with him to try to make him make the right decision. And then, Captain Planet is able to talk to Guy, and because Guy's the one with the power of the heart. And, he's like, we can save the planet. And Guy's like kind of giving up on the planet. He's like, I'm watching us sleepwalk our way into extinction. I think that's actually a line in here. And Captain Planet's like, I've been around long enough. Humans never stop impressing me. They never stop surprising me. He's like, humans are capable of great things, and they just need a positive influence, and maybe we can be that positive influence the humans need. And that message in this is just fantastic. I will say this issue ended with some corniness. I watched Captain Planet growing up, but I don't remember there being a Captain Pollution. I don't remember that happening, but I could be wrong. Hold up. Time for our state-mandated cup of coffee. Have a nice day. All right, next up, Star Wars Hyperspace stories. I'm reading 2 different Hyperspace stories. This one's Codebreaker. The other one is something title, Dark Title, or something like that. 2 different stories, but this one's following Poe Dameron. He's trying to rescue the girl. Well, he was sent on a mission to take the Codebreaker away. And then when he gets there, he finds out the Codebreaker is a child. This crazy intelligent, like brainiac genius level that she's able to spot anomalies just by looking at like the numbers, right? So he's like torn between saving her. Well, he does save her, but now he's torn between delivering her to the rebels so that the rebels can kind of, the rebels are the good guys in this story, but the rebels still have the idea of like using her abilities. Because I'm sweating, it's hot out here. The rebels are still trying to like take her and use her for her abilities, but like they haven't really discussed a whole lot because the rebels were under the impression that it wasn't a person or a human or a humanoid, that it was a sentient being. There you go. That was the word I was looking for. They weren't aware it was a sentient being. They thought it was an object that was able to do all this code breaking stuff, right? So Poe Dameron sends out the message that hey, the Codebreaker is actually a terrestrial, like a being, and it's not an object. I would like to talk to you guys about like returning her to her mom and like saving this kid. And he sends the message. They receive the message, but the person that receives the message in the resistance takes it and then dips. And then at the end, you kind of see like the bad guys surrounding Poe Dameron. It doesn't directly say that she is a traitor in the resistance, but it's kind of like assumed, and it kind of leaves you wondering, like, are we about to find out? And there's always spies, like especially like in a big story like this, there's going to be spies on both sides, right? But it kind of made it too easy for me to make me think that maybe there was just the writing that they wanted you to think that she's a bad guy, and maybe she's going to show up and save the day or something. Who knows? But like I said, Darkhorse, I said IDW earlier. I apologize. Darkhorse really does Star Wars justice. I was picking up Marvel Star Wars at first because I was, big into Marvel. I was big into Star Wars. I was like, those two things going together. I love it. Let's do it. And I was really getting kind of like inconsistently let down. Like the good was still kind of like mediocre, and then the bad was like, oh my God, I don't want to read this no more. With Darkhorse, everything I've read from Star Wars from Darkhorse has been amazing. And if you're a Star Wars fan and you're looking to get into reading Star Wars comics, I 100% recommend picking up Darkhorse Comics for Star Wars. This is amazing so far. And this is only issue 3, so you're not too far behind. Or if you're waiting for it to come on trade, usually trades come out after issue 4 to 6. So I don't know the actual release for the trade on that, but yeah. Next up, we got Post Malone's Big Rig. This is my number 3, so we're getting into the final 3, okay? Post Malone's Big Rig. This has been surprisingly amazing. I didn't know what to expect because this is Post Malone's first comic. He's one of the like co-writers on this. He created the story and he's a co-writer, right? This has been crazy. It's about demons. The devil is trying to take over the planet and eradicate all the humans. And a atheist that used to be like very religious, but now he's an atheist. His family was killed, so he, left God. Kind of a stereotype story, but it's not like too stereotype in this story, at least not yet. But he gets called to fight on behalf of like the heavens, right? And the way they want him to fight on behalf of the heavens is driving the semi-truck. And he's going around and he's trying to like kill the bad guys. He has a witch on his team. He has, a couple of different like variations of good guys working with him. And then he also, they stumble across a kid that's with his grandpa. Something bad happens to grandpa. The kid steps up. And they're like, trying to save this small, I think probably 10, 15 people. They're trying to deliver them to a safe spot. But the devils are able, or the demons are able to like just possess somebody. You know what I mean? And then they're also already possessed people and sending those people to attack them. So it's an interesting concept. The art in this is fantastic. If you read comics for art, you're going to love this. It's a lot of black and white with splashes of red in here. And I love that. Like all of my tattoos are like black with red splashes and shit. I got all of my work has stuff like that. So if you're into black and white with like red splashes for like essential stuff, this is fantastic. The story's great. Definitely big shout out to Post Malone, man. You're killing it on your first attempt. Next up, we got Lost Fantasy. This is another one that has been like, this is my number 2, by the way. This is another one that after the first issue, well, no, the first issue was really good. The second issue, I was like, I'm so lost. I have no fucking clue what's going on. The third issue, the same way. I was like, what is going on? The fourth issue brings everything in 1, 2, and 3 together. It kind of lets you know why it was going 3 different directions at first. It brings everything together in this issue. And this was phenomenal. There was love. There was deceit. There was a man doing ungodly things to a newborn baby. Not like... Well, I guess... anything bad happened to a baby is bad, right? But he does bad things to a baby, and then you find out that he's not actually doing it to the baby. It was just his imagination. Sorry, I spoiled it for you a little bit. But he falls in love with the mom, has a kid. I don't want to give too much of this away, but good guy, obviously bad guys right here. Bad guy, it disguised as a good guy, but he knows that he's a bad guy. And then I'm not really sure what's going on in this bottom panel down here, but this has been fantastic. And every single issue is a giant size issue, so there's no short 20-page issues. All 4 of them are like 40 pages long, I think, or 30 pages long. Anyways, the art in here is fantastic. It's very retro. The storytelling in this is fantastic. You're getting... I will say the first 3 issues confused me. I didn't know what was going on. If you haven't started reading this yet, unless you're collecting singles, probably wait for the trade to come out. Once the trade comes out, pick this up. I can almost guarantee you reading the trade is going to be 10 times better than reading the singles a month apart from each other. But I'm really loving this story now, and I can't wait to see what they do with issue number 5. And then my number 1, this really surprised me. Shout out to Comic Source Rex. He did a review on this, and he was like, I think he got an early preview. Like, they sent him an early number 1, and he talked very highly about this comic. And I was like, well, they sent him this, so, because when somebody sends you free stuff, you try to find ways to make it sound good, right? You always want to do that, unless it's really bad. Like, I've read a comic or 2 where I'm like, I don't have nothing nice to say about it, so I'm just going to set it off to the side and we'll pretend like we didn't read it. You know what I mean? So if I'm giving you a review and I say, hey, this is good, I mean it. I'm sure Comic Source Rex meant it was good, and I know specifically this one he knew was good. Tama, this is an absolute banger beginning to this story. This is a six series issue, or a 6 series story, so this is issue number 1. Issue 2 should be coming out soon. I think this came out like 3 weeks ago. I fell way behind, like I said earlier. So in this, a gaming company is working with VR, and it doesn't give away too many details right now. But a gaming company is working with VR. That VR gains power to affect the real world, and these creatures that are kind of like Tamagotchi / like Pokemon, Digimon, that virtual monster type stuff, right? they're like cute and cuddly, but when their happiness reaches zero, they turn into deadly animals. And this gaming company, everybody gets killed, and then this kid's mom comes in there and buys her company buys up the company after everybody's murdered. And then the kid, he's a diehard gamer. I love that they actually took this kid's language and they didn't like make it like generic. His language is what you probably hear when you're playing video games online, the way he's talking. You know what I mean? I thought that was pretty cool. But this creature right here, he becomes friends with it, and then its happiness reaches zero. Some shit starts happening. This was my number one of the 16 indie comics I read today, and I'm sure if you read this, it'll be in your top 5. Like, I can't see a way that anybody would read this and not love it. I will 100% endorse that statement, okay? So if you are going to pick up anything that I recommended today, I would pick up this, okay? But guys, that's the 16 comics that I read this morning. They're all indie. If you want to talk more about them, please leave a message. If you've read them and didn't like something I liked or liked something that I didn't like, let's talk about it. Let's try to convince each other to like everything. Because when I spend money on something, I want to like it. I want you to like it if you're spending money on it. All right? So whatever you do today, even if you're not going to read one of those 16 comics, pick something up, read it, stimulate that mind, and have a great day.